Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to the number one source for information, education, and inspiration. You should get a license. We're talking about the podcast edition. Man, so excited about who we have with us today. This is a young lady who has been making incredible strides in the industry over the past few years, and have wanted to have this conversation for some time, and really excited for her to share her story and talk about what she's doing. There's some amazing things going on. You may have seen her online as India Insures, but she is the president of Legacy Leaders Financial. I want to welcome to the You Should Get a License podcast, Miss India Brown. India, how you doing?
Hey Rod, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Hey, look, I'm excited about this conversation because we go way back. Matter of fact, we go way back to I would say where you were a little bit newer, in the industry when we met originally, and now you've kind of come into this powerful, state of being with your branding and everything that you've been able to do and connect and build with. So I want to just kind of start by finding out a little bit about what you do, like sharing with our audience. Obviously, this audience is one where we're looking at different market segments of the industry. There are new people who are maybe just getting into the business. There are other professionals who are like, maybe I want to try to get into this industry and find out more about it. What do you do? What market do you segment on? Like, what's your specialty in this insurance and financial services industry?
Great question, Rod. For me, it's about really, I hate to sound cliche, but a mission, a true mission, if you will, of mine, a passion of mine, if you will. And I really hate to sound cliche, but it's true. I come from what I like to call the urban communities. That's the bougie name for it, right? But I was born and raised in the hood, right? And I lost my mom when I was 16. Never a good time to lose your mom, right? But it was kind of a critical age of me trying to figure out like what I want to do, what I want to be, all of those things, peer pressure, get ready to enter into that adult space, high school, a lot of things, right? And so losing my mom was a really tough time. But even more so when she passed, she had little to none life insurance, right? And so it really set me back. It really had me like confused, angry, like a lot of different emotions, like because we were tight. So it was like I was angry at first. Like I know she loved me. We had plenty of conversations. Like why she leave me hanging like this, right? And so at the time, in prayer, I got over it. Now you're like, you know what? If she knew the time, day, or hour, she would have planned. Facts, right? I think we all would. And so I was like, you know what? When I become an adult, when I become a mom, the last thing I ever want my kids to feel is this feeling right here, like questioning whether or not I even love them a little bit, right? Which I do. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take it a step further. I'm gonna get licensed, and I'm going back in my community, right? And I'm gonna tell the people who look like me, you know what I mean? Like this is easy to do. You know what I mean? Like when sometimes we think of life insurance as a debt or a liability or too expensive. Like for real, if my mom would have spent $50 a month back then, I bet you she would have had a $500,000 policy. Where I could bring her back and say, Mom, would you spend $50 to make sure I'm okay? Without question, she would do it, right? And it would have just changed everything in my life. I got accepted to Spelman. I didn't get to go because of money, like all of those things, right? And so it's like, all right, India, I'm going back in the hood. I'm going back in my community. And I'm going to start there. And I'm going to start talking to women who look like me because generational wealth is doable. It's important. It's needed. You know what I mean? My mom died unexpectedly. You know what I mean? It wasn't like we got to say goodbye and be surrounded by her on the sick bed. Like it was just unexpectedly, you know what I mean? And like that, it hit hard. And so I was like, you know what? That's what I want to do. And then as when I got licensed, I'm like, you know what? There's got to be some women like me who understand the importance of this. So now I want to go back into my community and help 10,000 families. I can't do that by myself. I want to build a team of women that look like me with the same drive and the same passion. We just gonna go into our communities and make sure generational wealth is intact, we're in place. Like our legacies are straight, we're good, like making a difference and educating our community. Because for real, $50 could have changed everything for me. You know what I mean? And if you ask a crowd today, would you spend $50 to make sure your kids are okay? Without question. Without question. So anyway, long story, it really hits home for me, for real. And that's why I'm in this space.
It's an important story because, I don't even know if parents think about life insurance from the perspective of their children and how that might feel if something were to happen. Like, what would be the feeling that the child would carry towards their parents? I mean, that is really powerful, and just being able to, take that, turn it into, a personal mission to ensure that, mothers and children are both protected, going forward in the future. I think I think it's really, really impactful. That was now you're from the DC area, correct? You're from DC,
Yep.
District of Columbia.
Yeah.
You use the hood. You said I grew up in the hood.
I did.
And your mom, she passes when you were 16. Very, like, formative years, for a teenage girl. I want you to take me back. Matter of fact, I want you to go back further than 16, all the way to, let's say, 9 or 10 years old. Little India in Shores, right?
Yeah.
What was little India thinking about or dreaming about being when she grew up? Like, what was the dream when you were a child?
Um, Again, I grew up in the hood, right? And so I was always challenging stuff. Like my mother would tell me something, I would challenge it or ask deeper questions. And so I was like, what? I'm gonna be a lawyer. And my mother always used to say that you should be a lawyer. You question everything. You're not stopping until you get the answers, right? And growing up in the hood, of course, money was tight. And so I always had a huge imagination. I remember telling my mom, like, nope. When I asked her for something and we couldn't get it, like, no, I'm a princess. Like, I don't know, but make it happen. You know what I mean? Like, make it happen. So I was like, what? This is not for me. I'm a princess. I'm gonna do something where I'm gonna make a lot of money, make an impact. So it's an 8, 9-year-old India. I thought I was gonna be a lawyer. I thought I was gonna have a two-seater convertible and live in a penthouse apartment and be this badass attorney. When I became grown, that's what I thought.
You was gonna be Olivia Pope or well, I guess Jessica Pearson now, since Pearson before they came out.
Yeah, I did not dream of the White House with the picket fence, and that was not my dream. It was like, if I have a kid, it'll be one, and she's gonna be on that side, and our shopping bags gonna be in the back, and we gonna live the life.
Wow. That's a unique perspective, right? Like say, hey, I'm gonna be a lawyer. You've always been a go-getter. I mean, you still are. What do you think? Like, what do you think gave you that? That sense of I'll say, just drive. Like, what instilled that?
The concept of wanting more, knowing that there had to be more to it. Again, I had to go back to the hood. Like, and I didn't know we were poor, but I knew we were poor. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't really want for nothing, but the concept of wanting more, meaning quality or better, you know what I mean? And being able to just do what I want when I want. Like, I don't want to have to lay away my trip. You know what I mean? If I want to go, I want to be able to go. So I've always kind of like, I just want to be able to do what I want when I want. Not just always about money, but just the peace of mind of freedom.